Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to some Automobilista 2 sprint racing. It's Saturday, 2 PM almost, and I feel like doing a bit of sprint racing. So we're going to be doing some AMS2 sprint racing blast. Of course, later on today we have the Porsche All-Stars at 5 PM. So we're squeezing everything in right here. So it's a squeeze. It's a total squeeze, but it should be a fun squeeze. So if you've got Automobilista 2, come on in and join us. Hello, Rory Scanlon. Yeah. Matty Matt, hello. Reset my camera here. So I noticed it was out of sync. My Elgato, I use an Elgato HD60S instead of a cam link for my camera. A stream a day keeps the doctor away. What does 2 streams make you invulnerable? Yeah, I think I need to get the Elgato cam link and stop using the HD60S. HD60S seems to get a bit of lag on it. Need to readjust things. Right, here we go. So, who in chat who wants to join us? Because the server will be called Game of Muscle. You know how it works. Also, that's me demonstrating the shirt. This is how I model. Shirt available on Teespring. Is this how you meant to model shirts? I think I've got a job. Buying it would be a huge error. Available. Link in the description. Well, it's such a self-shield.
SimRacing.com. All your sim racing news in one place. Don't just sim race.
This is a wonderful shirt. Did you notice?
SimRacing.com.
AB, what we driving? Bloody B-Sims invaded the channel. Click the like button. Go to B-Sim Racing. Bookmark it. You're rocking an invisible baby. Not J-Crew enough. I think we'll go for the MCR, but don't tell Radicall. I need to set an alarm, actually. Okay, Google. Set an alarm for 3:45 PM. There we go. Thanks, Google. Thanks for tracking me. Right, let's create a session here, multiplayer. Wolf whistle for the male model. I'm not a doghead, though. Do you think anyone has a chance to beat... Who's Big Rammy? Now then. Hello, Nipper R. How's it going, man? Create a session. Type AMS2 in chat if you're joining us, so I know who to punt. Right. It's a whistle that only attracts male... I don't know if you guys do this, but I have an emergency weekend alarm that I put on. There we go, MCR 2000. I have an emergency midday alarm on the weekends in case I miraculously stay in bed, just to punish myself if I am getting sleep. I have an alarm go off in the middle of the day that says, "You're wasting your life by being asleep. Get out of bed." Your channel's called Game of Muscle. You don't know who the current Mr. Olympia... No. The muscle in my channel title is ironic. Right, hang on, there we go. Get my volume levels correct here. Right, so we're going to do like nice sprint races here. Starting time 10. I mean, we only need like a little bit of quali. I got one of these. But it rings at 11. I know who Arnold is, that's good enough. Qualifying, we need qualifying. I always reset all the settings. That's why this is like this. Because I reset everything. Right, session duration. 15 minutes for quali. Starting time. Let's have it start nice and early. That'd be cool. 8. Time progression. Let's have it go quick. Weather slots. Oh, we'll just have a little bit of cloud. So we can have it go from cloudy to sunny. That'll be emotional. Okay. You can't trust Google, a flat earther told me. He also has proof supplied by Google. Yeah, well, you know what Google are like. No, you can trust Google to collect all your data. Right. That's that. Practice. Laps. Starting time. I want the time to progress. The race could just be nice and sunny. Okay. With a little bit of cloud, otherwise it's unrealistic. And then more sun again. Making this as British as possible. Okay. No. That's all right, I think. Now I'm torn. Do the social thing and drive badly with you guys, or do my practice for the race I'm supposed to practice for? Wow. I don't know. I'll just judge you quietly for making the incorrect choice. I will, like a pensioner judging a grandchild. I won't say anything, but you'll know what I'm thinking. I'll just look at you disapprovingly. Like a scorning possum. Caught in a fire, but unable to move. If the earth was flat, cats would have knocked everything off it by now. True. Running the rain, not for this one. You can trust Google to cancel Google in your country. There we go, right. Host settings, I've got to get the name right here. Let's have a cat. It's got to be in capital letters, otherwise it's not good enough, is it? Gamer muscle has no muscle. Let's password it. T. You actually seem to manage to fill these up normally. Broadcast, wait for rate, okay. Opponent settings. Oh, here we go. Maximum grid size 24. Maximum human opponents. Opponent skill level. Doesn't matter. Identical. Rules and regulations. Track cutting penalties. We'll get more of these. Drive through penalties. Right, I think that's it. I think we're good there. Well, we can always reset the server if it's not. Though, if in those flat earth illustrations, the ocean is always pouring over the edge. No, I thought that the flat earthers thought that the earth had a ring around it of ice. Like the ice was holding the water in. I mean, I don't think they think the earth is flat. I think they think it's like a disc. Well, there's loads of different flat earth models. There's that other one where it's like a bubble. It's a circle, like a disc with a bubble, and then it's projected the moon and stuff, because that was the only way to explain eclipses. Well, it still doesn't explain certain astrophysical phenomena, but they're trying. It's pretty impressive how in order to support a pre-existing notion, the extent to which you can create stuff to justify it. It's quite creative. Donut-shaped Earth. Is that kind of like the Halo ring? What is this music? Oh. That was a legit version of that. Joey Mac, Azaris, Big Hands Boris. We've got people in here. Should we wait for one more person to join? Good job finding the server there, guys. We got some AMS2 fanboys in here. I think I'm going to start it when we just get one more person to join, and we'll start the server, and then it should fill up whilst we're driving. Need a god voice using your... We do have a god voice.
Do you question the authority of the gods? You will be smited, child.
People have 10 minutes to join once you fire it up, exactly. But I want one more person to join the server. I've got a biscuit. We'll have a biscuit whilst we wait here, guys. Mark, there we go. Zero Select, saving the day. Well done, Zero Select. Congratulations. Oh, Mark, you have to create a new controller profile from the menu and rebind everything. I had that bug yesterday when we were setting things up again. So you have to rebind everything. You select on the wheel selection thing. You have to select a new wheel or custom wheel. That's what I did, and then it worked. It's really weird because it would bind in the menu and it worked with the H pattern. It's a very strange bug. It seems like the game isn't rewriting, or something's not linking up between the controller and then what the game grabs to use that. I'm alright, thanks. How are you, Lucas? Lucas Oil. Stiffen up the anti-roll bar here. I think we can close the radiator opening because I don't know if I turned damage off or not. Actually, I might have left it on, so can't close it. That should be all right. Going to pick up a new Fanatec rim. Thank you, man. Which one are you going for? I hope it's the most expensive one. the Porsche Podium. That's one you should get using my link. 5 of them, in fact. Why not 10? I mean, if you're going to get 5, why not get 10 of them? Decorate your house with Fanatec wheel rims. Oh, that's the cheapest one. What are you doing, man? The McLaren wheel rim is actually... It is... I would say... Oh, I need to do the camera as well. The McLaren wheel rim and the Formula... These wheel rims, the Formula V2, I think it's basically like the podium Formula rim. Those are the best. They're the best value. Like the McLaren wheel rim. The only annoying thing with the McLaren wheel rim is the buttons are laid out different. So it might be worth setting it up with joy to key so you can still use all the same buttons. But yeah, like the quality of the McLaren rim and the features it has relative to its price is quite impressive actually. I think it's like £200, which is a lot of money, but it's a replica wheel with analog clutches on it and, yeah, LCD screen and everything. It's weird. Weird that wheel is so much cheaper than the others. Camera is what I want to change here. I can't remember if we used the legacy movement or not. BMW will GT3. Anyone could join Camo ZA. Where's ZA? Are you in? Is that Africa? Was that a county, or where would ZA be? Help me out on that. Hey Lucas, thank you, man. South Africa. Nice one, man. You don't happen to live next to Antwerp, do you? Hang on, I need to use the other camera view. Zef Africa. The shifter's on the yeah, on the McLaren rim. It's like a, I think it's metal, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a weird. I've got it behind me somewhere. I probably will play R Factor 2. I just need to get it set up and. Yeah, I just need to get used, like, getting the R Factor 2 zone. I think Thomas Schmidt said he could sort a server out for us. Well, the camera settings I've got here, where I do lock to horizon, the camera's not too shaky. It's all right. I think you're freaky. I have to say, I have like a weird soft spot for the woman. She's kind of cute in a crazy way. Needless to say, I have a very strange taste in women, I have to say. Oh, bit of a spin through that. We need to get the UI elements on the screen better so I can see the drivers' names for the race here. I'm going to put in one more lap. Camo said, what about the way I've got it on now? Do you mean like the amount of suspension travel that there is in this? I think with the camera shake and body shake and stuff in video games, a lot of it is like you get used to it the more you play with them. Although some games I never could, like Armour, the head shaking that is really bad, and Hell Let Loose when you're crawling on the floor, it's like it feels like you're in a boat. Oh Jesus, very sensitive there. Yeah, they ruined loads of films with shaky cam. The last Bourne films are all terrible because of it. They totally ruined it. Really good choreography, and then just camera editing. Whereas the first Bourne film was actually quite good. Yeah, anyone could join this, guys. Password is T. Oh dear. Back is still a bit snaggy on this. I might reduce the brake pressure. What else was I going to do? I'm going to do something. And I've forgotten what it was now. There's brake pressure. Let's put it on like 85. What was I going to do? Guys, I was going to do something and I've totally forgotten what it was. What is wrong with me? No short-term memory. Oh yes, UI. No! HUD layout. There we go. Man, I have no short-term memory. There we go. So we put this stuff on here, then it's better for you guys watching, I think. Speedo. I've moved the brake bias further back because I prefer that in this. It's more to do with the snagginess rather than the amount of brake bias. I need to put the relative one on. Where's the relative timer? Weird. Why is the relative timer only available on this? Well, I might need to bind a button so it uses them. That's alright. That'll do, won't it? I'll put that in the right. That needs to not be there. I need to turn auto pit lane off. I thought I turned this off last time. It's weird that it's not saved that. Maybe that's a service setting. Alright, some random lad. Oh, I know what I need to put on as well. Is my SimLab stuff. I don't feel any vibrations. I think I have to do that out of this session though. So we'll have to make a new session after this to fix that. Hello, Andrew McCormick. How's it going, man? I'm good, some random lad. Yeah, I have a bit of a headache, but I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm really good. Like, I think what I don't know if you guys find this, but if I do like when I play games for more than like 4 or 5 hours a day, I get headaches. Old age, guys. Hello, UK Gadget Man. Nice steering wheel there. Ah, banned. End stream. End stream. No, it's just playing games. Gives me a headache. Just on a break. You having a Kit Kat? We need to bind buttons for look left and look right. Let's get that all sorted before this race. I made a thumbnail template on your new thumbnail format. What's that? In Photoshop or what? I said, whenever we play driving sims, I seem to be binding buttons for half the time. Headlights. There we go. Although I normally use that for my speed limiter. Put headlights on this one. Right, here we go. Look left. Brake bias forwards. Brake bias backwards. Anti-roll bar, anti-roll bar, anti-roll bar. Increase force feedback. Decrease. Assistance. We don't need any of that. Camera in view. Cycle camera. Oh no, look left and look right in this game are really slow. Not about that. Seat up. Seat up. Seat down. Seat forward, seat backwards. Reset car. This is the fun part of sim racing. You'll join the next one, Valaris. It's only a 5-lap race. Cycle HUD view, that's what I wanted. Yeah, we need to... I don't know if there's a text file to edit that lets you change this look speed. That needs to be instant. I don't know about you guys, but that is like pure motion sickness inducing for me. And that's like doing that. That for me is immediate motion sickness. It's like playing VR games for the first time. Should just be snap left, snap right. Oh, thanks for subscribing, guys. Oh, here we go. Streamlabs broken. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah. I'm in second place here. You guys are getting bamboozled by the muscle. Oh dear. No. Probably easier to do that whilst being still. There we go. Yeah, I think the British pack should be good. I mean, as everyone knows, I'm not a fan of ACC's force feedback, and I think the physics are a bit on-offy. But the pack should be a really nice. The Alton Park's a really nice, racetrack, and the track modelling in the ACC is fantastic. Because looking to corners is like a bad thing to have, Nigel. For the most part. I mean, I know some people like it, but I think it's better not to have it. Look to apex. Punt Jimmy for the memes. Wow, you know, it's always an option, isn't it? Yeah, just slide the car into the corner, and then you're good. Then you can see through the corner. You need a VR headset. Yeah, but a sim's not real life. So, like, when you've got a VR headset, you'll automatically look into the corner. The problem is, if you have it so that the look to apex is done by the game, your camera starts moving separate to anything that's happening with the physics or your input. If you have look to apex based on steering input, then you're like, again, it's just the camera's moving separate to what's happening. This is the same problem with track IR as well, is that when you're moving your head in track IR, it's not one-to-one because of the way track IR works. It's really good for flight sims and Euro Truck Sim and stuff. But with a racing sim, you're really paying attention to the slip angle of the car visually and what's happening. Like, the actual view is very important to telling you what's going on. Unless everything is like one-to-one perfect, then it kind of just muddies what you can tell the car's doing. I'm sure people can get used to it. I'm not saying it's impossible, that it's been bad for everyone, but in general, I've only ever found VR to work perfectly, because with VR, if your head is stationary, it's the looking of it is one-to-one and perfect, so that if I move my head like that, it's instantaneous, the head tracking, so that if the car decides to move independent of my head, you can still visually see it very obviously. Whereas with track IR or look to apex, if the car moves independently, it's like gonna move, but whilst stuff's being really smooth with your other movement, so it masks it, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's a very good explanation. Well, yeah, but Lady God, if you set up track IR like that, it ends up being kind of redundant. Yeah, well, the other advantage with VR is you get depth perception. You have more of a sense of the cockpit around you, because you've got VR has a really good, well, it has better horizontal and vertical field of view than most monitors. The only thing that beats VR for field of view is projector setups, but the vertical field of view really does place you in the cockpit as well, so you have more reference for the position of the car relative to your head again. Plus depth perception, plus good frame rates and everything. You know, yeah, it makes it harder to perceive your James Andrew, Mr. Scalextric's brother, James Andrew, just explained what I explained in like 4 words. That was very efficient. That was like a that was like a demo scene, 4 kilobit, 5-minute music video there. my least efficient brain. I'm like an IBM database. I'm like a banking terminal running on Windows 95 with 30 years of updates. He gave the the MP3 encoded version, the zipped WinRAR. Is it okay to shout out to Gary Williams? Oh no! Hang on. If he's called Coffin Dodger, but he died. Wow. Yeah, we'll give him a big shout out. That's you know, was he already ill or something, and that's why he called himself Coffin Dodger? Or was he being funny? Ah, man, that sucks. I need all the viewers I can get. I can't have them bloody dying. What is it with my viewers dying, guys? Don't stop dying, people. Hopefully he didn't die. Hopefully he died like quickly, painlessly. It's a shame he had to watch my live streams, you know, before passing away. I can't drive. I probably made his last years on Earth just that little bit worse than what they would be otherwise. Game of Muscle videos is lethal. Oh, well, that's... I mean, what more could you ask for, to be honest? Well, not dying, probably, but, you know. Joey Macadam, we're going to do another race in a minute. Still, we're all getting used to this. Does he have any family? Oh, well, that's nice. That just makes me sad. You know. Oh, well, I hope his brother's alright. Fucking sucks that people die. If God exists, he's a complete twat. You know, why would you create people to then kill them? Oh, technically, if you're Christian, they go to heaven, so... Hello, Paul Greenwood. Hello, Iron Annie, Iron. The Game of Muscle Mugs coming soon. Yeah. Well, there's mugs from one store, that are no, I didn't say I didn't like AMS2. Like, people get confused for me being critical and not liking something. Like, just because I say something strong-worded about a component of it, I'm just a very critical person with things. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to still get enjoyment from it. It's like, I think it's what makes you, you know, like you sort of, you can be very, very critical about something and individual bits and be like, oh, well, that's really shit, or that's bollocks, or that's really crap. But then, you know, that's just one component of something. So yeah, well, you know, sometimes when you know, sometimes you just want to have a little, you know, you just want to jump in, play something, have a good time, and maybe you've also got a bit of a headache, maybe you're tired as well, you know, and you add everything on top of it, and it can be irritating, and most of the time you just wouldn't play a game. But if you're live streaming, sometimes you have you know, you're sort of committed to doing that thing. I'd imagine it's the same way with, like, I'm going to compare myself to professional motorsports people, but I'm sure, like, Formula 1 drivers are absolutely loving that they're driving a Formula 1 car. You know, they're like, oh, this is incredible. But when they're in a race and it's not working how they want it to work, they'll be like, oh, this is shit. The tyres are bollocks. This is terrible. You know, because it's against what they're trying to get out of something at that point in time. But it is an objective fact that ACC's force feedback is awful for people that like to feel what's going on in the sim through the steering wheel. Oh, Jesus. Game of Muscle branded children. Yeah, so the mug thing, the mug is being produced, it's on Streamlabs merch store, but they don't have them in stock. But the thing is, I'm not going to, I don't want to have people buy a mug unless it's a good mug. So the mug that they've got, the one that that's out of stock, it's the same as this, same type of mug as this, like same shape and size. So there's no point in people buying small mugs. Like, why would you want to? What's the point of a small tea mug? You've drunk the tea before you've started. It's terrible. Like, I'm not gonna have merch for stuff that I personally wouldn't buy. I'm kind of like that with advertising on the channel as well. Like, I don't like promoting stuff unless it's something that I would buy, or something that I think other people would genuinely like. Or, you know. Yeah, well, I might do a Church of FFB mug. For sure. I've got to work on the graphic for that. It's hard to make it look nice. Maybe not if you're talented, but I'm a bit slow when it comes to graphic design. What a slide. Sports Direct. Yeah, you can't. It's really hard to get the large Sports Direct mugs for some reason. T in capital letters is the password. just why would you want my face looking at you when you have a cup of tea? Yeah, Fanatic affiliate link. If you click it before buying anything on the store, it gets me a percentage of the sale. Same with the Amazon affiliate link. That's just how affiliate links work. Ah, thank you. Should start doing your own biscuits. I would do, but you would have to be. It would have to be another brand that you then just brand. It'd be a manufacturer of biscuits that you're then putting your own brand on, rather than my own biscuits. Final lap here. Big Hans Boris. I made a bit of a mistake at the start. I think we'll do another race on the same track, but I'll change these settings. Universal hub or BMW wheel? Which universal hub? Do you mean the... So the new universal hub, personally...
What is behind this demand? Necessity for money. I'm not supplying money for necessities.
Have a cup of tea on me.
Thank you so much for supporting us there, man. That's an expensive cup of tea. You know, like the $2 donation. That's a cup of... Like, a tea out is normally... Actually, it's gone up now. It used to be like £1.50 for a cup of tea. Now it's like £2.30. That is the true inflation. Coffee's always like £3.50. I don't know why coffee's more expensive. Well, like a tea bag, it's just a tea bag with some hot water, but... yeah, £5, thank you. For $5 Australian dollars. High-end tea. Well, to be fair, I was in the Twinings shop in London and they had tea that was, I think it was like £150. Might have even been more for like a 50 gram. I don't know what they put in it. Probably like saffron and gold or something. Well done, Azaris. Zero Select. CI Bird Dog. Nice racing there. I'm going to restart the server. Cup of tea by me is 50p. But I'm just restarting the server, guys. I don't know. Some people feel like when they spend more money on things, it tastes better. It's like with wine, isn't it? Whenever they've done blind studies on whenever they've done blind studies on wine tasting stuff with expensive wines, it's like the temperature of it is more important. Like, people just can't tell the difference. Right, this should work now. What else did I need to do? I've set the output there. Yeah, that's why my understanding was, if you buy a bottle of wine from most places for between £10 and £15, that's the cost of... That's like the commodity price for a good quality wine, £10 to £15. I mean, it's weird for people to be so pretentious and picky over wine, but not olive oil. Or, I mean, if you're putting olive oil on your salad, you're tasting something. Like, wine is just something with a flavour. So I don't get why people are super pretentious and picky over arbitrary things. Also, after if you drink 2 glasses of wine, you're pissed, unless you're an alcoholic or you drink a lot. But if you don't drink a lot, like 500 millilitres of wine is like that's like 2.5 pints. So if you drunk that in 30 minutes, most people are going to feel a little bit drunk off that. Right, what else did I need to do setting wise? Can you guys remember? Status symbol. Oh, by the way, guys, on the subject of wine, I was watching Sneaky Pete on Netflix, or is it on Amazon Prime? I don't know if it's on Prime or Netflix, but it's really good. I finished watching it. It's well worth watching. It's good fun. It's a little bit grindy, some of the episodes, but good. Some good acting in it. Some fun characters. And it's only 3 seasons or 4 seasons, so it doesn't take too long to watch through it. Highly recommended. First 3 or so episodes are shit, but it actually gets better. First 3 episodes I was like, I'm not going to bother watching this, but then actually it's quite good. I don't know if I can make food tips from a man who thinks all cow meat is from male cows. Well, it is if you only eat bulls. Bulls from balls. Balls. Who's type AMS2 if you're joining the server here. I'm alright, Mick, thanks. Pretty good, to be honest. Meatballs. Oh, yes, I was going to change the quali. Magilla Gorilla Racing's chucking the old money at me. Thank you. What a mentalist. Is that Australia? Is that... What do they use rand in Australia? Was it called something else? Let's start at 6.
What is the motive behind this demand? Necessity. Necessity for money. I'm not supplying money for necessities.
Buy a bottle of wine as well.
Thank you, man. I don't drink alcohol, so I've got a bottle of non-alcoholic wine. It's more... Well, it's not really even wine. It's like a fruit thing. I'll use that to buy some more strong Kong Strong from Lidl. Oh, I'll buy some non-alcoholic. I'll buy some non-alcoholic beer from Tesco's with it. What's it called? Linus Tech Tips. I don't know. We've been haunted by Linus Tech Tips theme tune. This happened yesterday as well. Brewdog, Nanny State, and Punk AF non-alcoholic beer is quite nice. Go to linustechtipstore.com, buy one of their shirts. Oh no, don't buy one of mine instead. Right, here we go. 5 laps. I bet the race earlier as well. For some reason, to set the season, is it automatically picking summer or something? Like the water bottle. I should have a water bottle. Right. That's all good, isn't it? Have I missed something? Our realism settings. Let's turn the fuel off. Let's turn these cheats off. Damage is off. Mechanical failures off. Goes to vehicles. No. Tyre wear. Off. No. And there we go. We can turn all this off. You have now twice. Right, that's all good, isn't it? Everyone's playing AMS2 with us. Right, there we go. Get in there, guys. Click that like button. We should get to 100 likes in the first hour if you do. Being on 48 minutes, 74 likes. If you all smash the like button, we'll have hit 200 likes per hour, which is 100 likes better than 100 likes per hour, and I don't have a graphic for it, which signifies that we're actually growing. The chances of getting all 200 of you to click the like button, though, would be a miracle. More miraculous than the resurrection of Jesus. More miraculous than the British public not voting for a corrupt government. More miraculous than the humanity coming together and addressing the climate crisis. More miraculous than basic critical thinking skills being commonplace. Password's T. Oh, have I messed? Did it not do the server name? Is it just called lobby? Hang on, guys. Did the server not make the name? Did it not save the name? I've got to make a new. Or did it call Game of Muscle? Is the server called Game of Muscle? Oh, I've got to make a new. Okay, sorry. I thought it saved it, but it didn't. New server. Huge error. Yeah, more miraculous than proper force feedback. Oh, come on. Come on, YouTube. There we go. 119 likes. Well, that's 100 likes per hour. Thank you, guys. Why is it... Yeah, I don't know, the UI layout on this is a bit interesting, shall we say. Password is T, as you guys know. There we go. Right, that should all work, yeah? Fingers crossed. This car doesn't have any lights, so hopefully it's not too dark in the morning. There you go, game of muscle. I don't think so, Joey Mac. I think it sets a default value. I'm not entirely sure. Dislike. You should just dislike the stream, really. Yeah, I think you can just set it. I've not tested it. It would be interesting to try out. That is true, Jamie. Some are more corrupt than others, though. So, you know. But yeah, there's that good. There's a good video explaining corruption in a sort of non-political way. I forgot what it's called. So that's not very useful, is it? Great job, me. See you on track. Joey Mac, Turbo Spree, Big Hands Boris. Right, here we go. Let's start this off. Shall I wait for one more person to join? Oh no, look at this. We've got quite a few AMS2 fanboys that are watching this channel. When Izzy's got an axe to grind, he's there like a lumberjack grinding axes all day.
Here I am, in the yard, grinding axes all day long. This simulator's not a Assetto Corsa. I will therefore grind my axe. Grind, grind, grind. Grind, grind, grind. Grindy, grindy, grind. Grind, grind, grind. Grind, grind, grind. Oh no, I've ground the axe head off. Let me get another axe head. Grind, grind, grind. Grindy, grindy, grind. Grind, grind, grind. All day grinding. Grindy, grindy, grind. Oh no, I've worn out another axe head. Let me get another one.
Have you got vaccinated now? I feel like the game might have just crashed. Well, either the game's crashed or something's happened. We'll give it a minute. Oh no! You can now walk amongst the zombies without any threat of being bitten. Oh, there we go. It's just slow to load. Right. I just remember this setup from before. That's quite nice with this. I like it in Sims when they remember what you did last time. I think everyone can close the radiator opening because the setup's no damage. Oh, there's some issue with the buttons here. Why can't I start? Oh, no. Right. No, this is still not early enough. Why? It's like we're in summer in Norway. I've set the time to 7 AM and the sun's still out. May as well bin it, eh? I don't think even so with the nature of how virulent. Well, it's not even that virulent, COVID, like relative to some other viruses out there. But like, with the nature of how many hospital beds it takes up when people get, especially elderly people, get affected by it, even a vaccine that was only 50%. I say only. That's not necessarily even that terrible. That's still very sizable and has a massive impact on life saving. So getting too hung up on the direct percent is a bit of a like a false thing to pursue, if that makes sense, in terms of getting hung up on. Or also, say the point is, if you have, like, say you had an old people's home and you vaccinate everyone in that old people's home with a 50%, with a vaccine that has 50% reduction in any like notable negativity from a given virus. Oh, thank you. Basically, what it means is you've reduced the transmission rate by 50%. So not only have you made it so that 50% of the people that have the vaccine in that old people's home don't have any effect if COVID comes into that old people's home, but you've also reduced the chance of COVID getting into that old people's home by 50%. So it has like a compounded benefit. I don't know why when the media cover this stuff, they don't explain any of it. Like, you don't... If you had a vaccine that only worked 40%, 30%, but you rolled that out to everyone in a society, that could be a high enough percent for herd immunity to actually work. It's like... yeah, it's like... It's so annoying, like the lack of scientific thinking and critical thinking and the media. Like, you can't blame someone that's doesn't know. Like, I have someone that's not particularly educated about something or doesn't know. You can't really you can't really be angry at someone for not knowing something, because you know, if you don't know something, you don't know it until you know it. So that I'm not bitter at people particularly that don't know stuff, but if you're a publication, if someone's like a media publication and they put out stuff that is purposefully ambiguous, so it shouldn't even be legal. And also education is, I think if education was better, then critical thinking would be better, and people wouldn't be so vulnerable to the terrible media publication. It's weird that, because it definitely, from my perception of things, it seemed like in the 90s there was internationally like sort of science and promotion of science and science education. There seemed to be like a really big push, you know, like this sort of, as if it was an important thing, and your average layperson was like, yeah, you know, maybe they don't understand it, but it seems like, in a sense, the importance of science education has reduced. It's probably just due to conservative governments, to be honest, not promoting things as much. But then again, maybe things are actually better, but the internet has just highlighted it's made the dumbness more visible. That's always the hard thing to tell with stuff like the internet and Facebook and social media, is you sort of go, oh, Facebook's made the world terrible, social media's made the world terrible, the internet's awful. It's like, maybe it's actually just shining a light on it, which means that you then have to be even more, it just encourages people to confront it more. It's like when you look at war statistics and stuff, it's like, if you were to be reading the news and stuff, or you look at your general perception of news on TV news and media and everything, you might think, oh, there's more war than there ever has been. But from the data I've seen in terms of like numbers of death in wars and like genocides and things. Actually, the last sort of 10-15 years, or over even the last post World War II, obviously. But even if you take World War II and World War I out of the equation, generally things are more peaceful. So it can be hard to get a good painting of reality. Oh, I mean, Glorious 7. Oh no, that's the time. The time layout in this game is so dumb. Like, you can't put the minute on top of the... Well, you can. They've done it. But that's not intuitive to look at. Takes up less horizontal space, but who's concerned about horizontal space? Surely it would be better to lay the position and the time on top of each other, so that they don't have to be laid out in a completely non-standardised way of reading position and time. Do the people that get jobs for simulators specifically not understand design? Like visual design and intuitive design, is that like a prerequisite if you want to work on driving sims? It's like programmer art. Maybe that's what it is. It's programmer design. And this is Sholomir. Hey, man. Welcome back, dude. Why does everybody need to be vaccinated? Well, not everybody needs to be vaccinated, real person. A percentage of the population needs to be vaccinated for the sake of herd immunity, because there's some people that would die from COVID and various infections. Jesus Christ, I'm stuck in the sand. There's some people that can't get vaccinated because they might have a hypersensitivity to vaccinations, or God knows what. They can't get to the hospital, or you know, there's groups of vulnerable people that will die for sure if they get COVID, or very like 99% probability, and they can't get vaccinated. So you need to make sure that enough of the population is vaccinated so that there's no vector.
What is the motive behind this demand? Necessity.
Sam
Necessity
Folk.
for money. I'm not supplying money for necessities.
Thank you, Sam Folk.
FFB is the best it's ever been, but whiners like GM have a larger platform, slightly smiling face.
My platform's not that large. Thank you so much for supporting us, Sam Folk, with $5 dingles. Yeah, so the key with vaccination is to stop the vector for the disease to be able to get to people that aren't vaccinated, or people where the vaccine, if it's not 100% proof vaccine, like 100% effective. By having enough people that are vaccinated, the disease virus can't get to those people that aren't protected. That is the beauty of vaccination.
What is the motive behind this
Jesus,
demand? Necessity.
Bass thrashing.
Necessity for money. I'm not supplying money for necessities.
They're all competitive sim races use left foot braking.
Ow! Do all competitive sim races use... I would have thought so. He's alright. This fish, the fish is alright. That's how he swims, look, upside down. He's alright. He's alright. Real person. They have as much chance of dying of flu and pneumonia. So you know that COVID is on top of... So pneumonia is not a virus. Pneumonia is your lungs getting scarred or being full of liquid or whatever, so that your lungs can't function. That's not a specific virus. That's like... Pneumonia is like the equivalent of if you burnt your arm, you've burnt your arm. You've got a burn on your arm. Pneumonia is the result of lung damage and reduced lung function. So you have to. COVID is on top of whatever. So yeah, you could die of flu, you could die of cancer, you could die of loads of stuff. But the point is, if you've got another thing on top of that, it's like polio, for example. You could die of flu and pneumonia and COVID. You could also die of polio or smallpox. You could get smallpox. You could have COVID and whatever, God knows what else with you, and you could have boils and shit all over your face because you've not got a vaccine from smallpox. It's on top of it. Really, what you want to do is when you can use the bloody amazing vaccines, which are effing amazing, like. You just have a simple injection that's totally painless, and you are then safe from a specific disease. Like, that's incredible. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And vaccines are so low risk. Like, they're less risk than if you were to take ibuprofen all the time. So it's like, vaccines are incredible. It's absurd. It's not absurd to be worried about a new vaccine to an extent and go, well, you know, has it been fully tested and everything? Until there's scientific papers that show, oh, you know, it's using fairly standardized processes, it's been tested, it's gone through the scientific process. Once it's gone through that scientific process and all the data shows it's very similar to other vaccines, there's no... Like, to be concerned just shows that you've been utterly manipulated by bollocks media. Well, I can't get a vaccine because I'm not old enough, despite being 300 years old. But yeah, I'll get vaccinated as soon as possible. Not necessarily for me. I mean, I've already had COVID, so well, at least I think I did. I don't know for sure. So, but. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was dying. I'm pretty sure I had a temperature. I got it really early on, so there wasn't any testing. So, but regardless of that, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't be getting the vaccine for me. The point is to, by you getting it, you're reducing your chance of transmitting the virus to other people that are vulnerable. So like your parents, like how do you feel if you visit your parents and you kill them by giving them COVID? It's obviously not your fault for killing your parents if you visit them and you happen to have COVID, you didn't know you had it. You can't really blame yourself for that if that's what's happened. But ideally, you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to be a possibility. Paul Smith in the chat, hey man. Fake. Well, I don't know what the evidence for fake Chinese vaccines are. Why can't we ever have a conversation about these things with like people just typing stuff that is like not backed up? Come on, guys. If you're going to type something about science, medicine, or anything, make sure it's got some evidence behind what you're typing. Yeah, as James states, as I say, that's why it's important not to blame, not to be like, oh, well, you've given that person COVID, because people are going to have really bad feelings of guilt when it's not their fault, you know. There's no point in blaming yourself or blaming other people for, it's obviously accidental. No one really intends to transmit a disease. But the point is if you can get vaccinated, you're reducing that likelihood. Levi's Jeff brain cells. I didn't get a good lap in here. Noobed myself. Dead Man Trigger, why are you typing that when it's not true? A percentage of people will have some symptoms, a very small percentage. That is offset by the fact that the symptoms that anyone gets are utterly negligible, and the fact that statistically those symptoms, whilst also being utterly negligible, are also nothing like getting actual COVID. and are going to be better than having COVID. So, why do people struggle with this? Do we need to like have pictures? Well, I think we just need that smallpox. We just bring back smallpox, more of a visual disease. Let's give smallpox to children, and let's have all these children with all pustules on their face, and let's have them all let's just leave them on the street dying in agony, and maybe that will be enough for people that are weird vaccine skeptics to go, oh, hang on a minute, yeah, actually no, let's let vaccines are actually generally a good thing. Denny Z, you're telling people that vaccine stops transmission, which isn't true. Yeah, I'm wasting my time. Denny Z, can you explain to me how a vaccine doesn't stop transmission? I think you're getting confused on... See, you're getting confused on an individual level versus a societal level. So, you could be vaccinated, potentially... You could still, yeah, you can still transmit a virus to someone else, even though you've been vaccinated, because your body, the virus might still be transmissible, even if your body takes time to actually get rid of the virus from your body. If you're vaccinated, the time frame at which your body will be able to, your immune response will be able to deal with the virus will be shorter. So, yeah, sure. If you are if you've had the vaccine, you're infected with a virus, you can still be transmissive for a given period of time, despite being vaccinated. Sure, but the point is that time period is lower if you've been vaccinated because your body can deal with it, get rid of the virus quicker. So it is reducing transmission. It does make it much less likely if you're vaccinated that you will transmit a virus to another person, which then has an exponential knock-on effect. The problem is what you've just typed is it's very disingenuous because yes, there's an element of truth to it, but the reason to type that out and the reason that narrative is promoted is to promote a narrative of vaccines don't work, which is bollocks because they clearly do. That's the problem with stuff like that. This is what a lot of people do when they're being disingenuous with... I'm not saying you're doing this, Dead Man Trigger. I know you're probably just typing something out, but disingenuous argumentation, you see it a lot as a way to promote something that's not true. You sort of promote the stuff that's slightly true to then leverage the part that isn't true. Yeah. Hopefully I can, by saying the actual truth on here, hopefully it has a mild positive effect. Hello.
Hello, James.
Hello.
How are you doing? I am now the COVID police and will be issuing fines too. People who think COVID is a hoax or don't think vaccines will reduce the rate of transmission. Please don't feed the trolls, everyone.
Yeah.
Lots of love, Izzy.
So Volta Vava, what a name. There's a balance though, and the thing is, it's like you can't. The famous saying, you can't play chess with a pigeon because the pigeon will knock all the pieces off the board, dance around and shit on the table. There's going to be a limit to what you can explain to someone. But the point is, there will be people on the margins that haven't made their mind up yet. And by having someone explain something reasonably, at least those people will be reached. Whoops! World's slowest reaction times there. I think our viewers are all on. We're all high. Oh dear. Okay, great start there. Oh dear. Take it easy, guys. Thanks, Harry. Harry, I don't think it's going to happen. Thanks for that donation, Izzy, as well. Yeah, so I think I think it's perfectly fine for someone to... It's entirely reasonable for someone that's not they might not be totally educated on stuff, or they just don't know yet. Maybe they're younger, or they just haven't followed science and stuff. It's totally reasonable for someone to say, oh, I'm concerned about getting vaccinated, because there is a lot of bollocks out there and it will have made people concerned. So it's perfectly fine to be sceptical and inquisitive about anything. But what isn't fine is for someone to, as I say, promote bollocks. It's totally fine to ask a legitimate question. It's not fine to promote something that's scientifically not true, like something that's objectively not true, through half-truths and Machiavellian linguistic tactics. That I have a problem with. Oh, nice attempting moves here on the car behind me. Yeah, being selective of evidence is definitely a problem. Like, if someone presents to you high quality evidence, you should be perfectly comfortable to allow that to replace low quality evidence. Oh, but advertised. Oh, that's close. Pretty much. There is no spoon. Brumidino. I can understand that as being an initial concern, but what I would say to counter that concern would be the vaccines they're not using completely novel techniques. The coronavirus isn't like a completely new virus in the sense that it's absolutely, you know, it's not like some totally new. It's a variant of an existing thing, if that makes sense. So if you had a virus like something equivalent to like Ebola or something that just appeared out of nowhere, that was like came out of the tundra from like a virus that had been laying dormant for thousands of years that science had no previous recollection of, then yeah, I think that would be much more concerning. The other thing to counteract that concern of the time period for a vaccine being produced and tested is that the amount of people that the vaccine has been tested on is massive. Huge numbers of people have been tested. So there's multiple factors as to why you shouldn't be too concerned. There goes another one. About it being produced in a shorter time period. And I mean, the other thing is, even if the rates of it was turned out that there was more negative reactions to it or whatever, even if that, you cocker. He just punted me. He didn't do it on purpose. He's missed break point. Even if the rates were higher of it having negative effects, you would have to still weigh that up against the effects of COVID. And I tell you, for me personally, I honestly thought I was going to die. So, no point in my life, apart from when I was drowning, have I felt like I was going to suffocate to death. So, I don't think that's a nice experience to have. So, I would rather not have that. If someone said to me, you risk having an allergic reaction from a vaccine, or like 3 or 4 days a week of feeling unwell, which isn't the case, by the way, but if someone said that, and I could choose that over having my experience with COVID again, I'd pick that any day. I'd pick like someone smashing my wrists in. I'd pick 2 broken wrists over, honestly, like 3 days of feeling like I was suffocating. Like you can't breathe. You breathe in, you feel like you can't breathe. It's not pleasant. It's not nice. And then like 6 months of, I still, my chest still hurts now. So that's entirely my personal thing. So it's different for different people. And I haven't had it that bad at all. But I think because COVID's not very visual, for someone that's not had it and someone that's not been around hospitals, that is true. That is true. The biscuits have actually caused the majority of issues. A lack of fitness, too much seating, too much being seated sim racing has definitely caused most of the health issues that I experience. You don't get HIV from walking through Soho unless you unless you go into the alleyway where Izzy's waiting for you. Hello, you've come to the alleyway. Ow. Yeah, I think if COVID was more like smallpox, people would be taken a lot more seriously. I think there's been like a media blackout on covering hospitals and stuff because they don't want people to panic. Because there's always a fine balance between panic and information. I think that the balance is off. I think some people need to be, some people are a bit too blasé about things. What's funny is COVID is so simple compared to the issue, like the environmental issues that we're facing. And we can't. COVID is apparently like vaccination, wearing masks, having resources available for people that have been furloughed, or working from home. Apparently, all that stuff is too hard. Even though that is actually quite a simple thing, really. I mean, the hard part of COVID is the hospitals being overwhelmed and the resources for that. Doctors and nurses having to deal with patients that are idiots. Doctors and nurses having to see their patients. There'll be a load of new doctors that they've just become qualified doctors and they've gone into a pandemic. Just because someone's become a doctor, they're still a normal person, or you become a nurse, you're a normal person, you're still going to be really affected when your patients die. And, you would hope for new doctors and nurses that, they're eased into it. They'll have, older patients, they'll see done, they're like, oh, well, they're older. And then, maybe there'll be, a child that gets killed in a car accident, they're like, oh, that's horrific. But it's not all the time. Imagine your first day on the job, and you're literally, every day in your ward, there's, 10, 20, 30, 100, and the really difficult thing would be a patient coming in that seemingly looks fine, and that they think that they're going to be fine. Within 3 days, they're going to be dead, and you have to explain that to them. Just this stuff is not covered in the media properly. It's infuriating. And this is why people don't care. It's no empathy for the doctors and nurses, and just Jesus. Anyway, who got me on the COVID rant? Yeah, that was terrible driving. We need to ban we need to ban everyone. Cabana. We'll go to a new track. We're here to sim race, not COVID rant. What's worse, COVID or being in Middlesbrough? I like Middlesbrough. Yeah, okay, we're going to focus on the racing next race instead of ranting about stupidity. Jules Hom, Hackzy, Ramgid, nice top 3 there. Let's drive a better race next race. BSIM, so actually BSIM, I don't know if that's entirely true. So in the sense that the World War II, like the reality of World War II, has been distorted by film and like nostalgia. Weirdly, during the Blitz, there were Blitz skeptics that wouldn't turn their lights off in the cities, and that's why they had to have wardens. Also, there was loads of looting and robbing going on during World War II in the UK, because things haven't changed that in that sense. But you have arses and you have good people. For lots of people, World War II was like a holiday, but like in the sense that they got to travel the world. They didn't necessarily see like frontline combat, and for lots of people, it was starvation and death. It entirely depended where you were, which country you were in, how well off you were, if your house happened to get bombed. Everything's always very complicated, and there's idiots and there's good people. Such is the world. What track are we doing? We'll be doing that later, Alt Racer. There's nothing less to ruin. Your grandfather went on holiday to a camp in Germany. Well, that's not good. No, but the point... a world war isn't the same for everybody in the world war. I think what's weird and what's often not covered is, like with the COVID situation, when in the future, when people look back at COVID, it'll be presented as like air raid sirens going off and like the disaster. And they'll show footage of the hospitals and it'll be like narrated and everything. And someone that hadn't lived through it would look back at it and be like, oh, I must have been really like fearful all the time and all this and that. Normally, when there's like a natural disaster or there's a terrible thing going on, the scary part of it is the mundane nature of it. So, which is hard to convey in a historical book or in a film, or the mundane nature to reality, which is actually the creepiest part of reality. Like, just how mundane a lot of it is. Like, a lot of the COVID stuff for most people is just very mundane. Right, here we go. Travis Bond! Finally up late enough to catch me. I've really enjoyed streams lately. Okay, that's on-demand game of muscle. Jesus Christ. What's the world come to? Future generations will watch footage of COVID and we'll have to explain to them how we didn't die. Oh, that's good, right, Chandler? You can sit in the sim rig more now. I'm not. Yeah, Paul Keeble. I'm not saying that movies should be mundane. I'm just saying it's history documentaries, movies, and TV and books don't capture the. I don't know if you've ever been in like an actual bad situation. The shocking part of it is that everything else is the same. It's like that's when someone dies. It's like the world's carrying on. It's really shocking. Oh, it's a bit... We picked a different country, and so the morning is slightly more red here. Anyway. The lighting in this game is really nice. Don't smoke her! Car needs some headlights. Stuart Marshall. What time is it in the UK? It's 2:11. The Porsche race that we're doing will be at 5 p.m. You can't think it came from a bat, a lab, or a pangolin. I tell you, look, I level with you guys. I released it because I knew that it would be good for sim racing. I'm sorry, I didn't realise it would be as bad as it ended up being. I made a little bit of a miscalculation. It definitely helps sim racing though, but at quite a cost. I'm sorry. But it's done now, and we just have to move on. We just have to move on. Washing machines live longer with vaccines. I think that you can know if something's been lab produced or not by the nature of the DNA and the nature of the thing. From my understanding, it's pretty evident that it's not lab produced. That doesn't mean that it could have been, you know, you could study something and it could then get out of a laboratory. That's a separate issue. But you could just speculate on these things endlessly to no point. Like, this is how you end up with bonkers conspiracies. It's like that. There's a really good documentary actually about the Umbrella Man at the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Because there's this umbrella man, and people are like, why is there a man with an umbrella? That's really weird. That's part, you know, there's obviously something significant about that. And it turns out it was just a guy protesting. But it's a really good, there's a nice little explanation where they track down the guy that the actual umbrella man, and it's a good example of how, because humans, our brains are we're pattern discovery machines, but part of that nature of the brain is such that you create false patterns, false linkages. So it's not, the brain's evolved to create it's sort of a compromise between discovering a pattern that actually exists or a pattern that might exist, and the compromise is based around the speed at which your brain can work out those patterns, potentially from stuff like, you know, survival situations. It's better to like go, hang on, that bush has moved, that could be a that could be a leopard. That could be a leopard, and get it wrong and not get eaten, versus that bush has moved. Let me just process every single leaf and every single shadow, and let me just process every single potential movement of light and colorization, and let me just being eaten by the leopard. So yeah, there's a big problem with just inventing things that don't exist, false patterns. A good visual example of that is pareidolia, where if you look at, because we're social animals, you tend to see faces in things or shapes that are human. You know, like, you tend to see faces in stuff, like how you see shapes in clouds and stuff. But if you Google pareidolia, that's a good visual example of how you tend to see patterns where they don't exist. It's a good, obvious visual example of it. Maybe that is the natural selection, though. You're assuming that natural selection has a good or bad intention. It's merely what's left. So it's still that's the natural order. Whatever it is the natural order. It's just what's left, and that is a world, a world full of YouTubers. But then they will die out from deep vein thrombosis, so that's how that balances out. It's all right. Well, yeah, but maybe you just don't know the variables. You're running on the incorrect stock market model. You're running on the model of the market that the hedge funds were running when they were shorting GME. Ah, look who's graced his presence. Oh, hang on, there it is. Wow. Brandon Poolside. Beautiful. Oh, that D25 really arouses me. Wow. Who in chat doesn't know who Brian Badonde is? If you don't know who Brian Badonde is, guys, you have got to Google it on YouTube, and you will be... You've missed out. Brian Badonde. Oh my god, you guys need to type Brian Badonde. Oh my god, some of the funniest stuff. The Brian Badonde goes to an art gallery. Oh, this is so good. So dumb. Mellow. It's so dumb. I don't know why it's funny, because it shouldn't be, because it's so stupid. Saturday morning cartoons. Please stop putting spaces in front of exclamation marks. Right. I disagree. I think exclamation marks look better with a space. So punctuation looks better with a space before it. I know that's not grammatically correct, but Terry Tibbs. He's got some well good characters. Ian B. Punctuation crew. If enough people do it, it will have to change. Bloody grammar Nazis, guys. I tell you what. People obsess with spelling and grammar as if that's the important part of a conversation. It's like that. The train spotters of English language. No offence to train spotters, they're not doing any harm. But it's like, if something written can be understood, that's all that matters. That's the point of language. And English as a language has been absolutely ripped to shreds all over. No wonder we have like 30 ways to say the same bloody thing with 100 different spellings and the vowels that pronunciations don't make any sense. It's like just saying it as a... All the dyslexics in chat will understand this frustration. If you're not dyslexic, you're probably like, oh, well, why can't you just follow the rules? Oh, it's not that hard. Dyslexic army, guys. Everything should be phonetic. You haven't seen how Greeks are doing. Language is language. We've got all the bloody fast drivers in here now. I hate this about sim racing. When you play a different sim and you live stream it, what happens is all the sodding fast drivers are like, oh, I'm going to join that. And then I can't beat them because they're all the people that have been practicing it for that given sim. Goddamn fast people. I'm not up for the challenge. I'm slow as well, but I need other people to be slower. That makes me look faster. this is a good life lesson. If you want to look good, make sure you compete in something where the field is weak. Which is why next year I'm going to be entering as the Olympic teabag tosser. That sounds wrong. Should be an Olympic sport. It's like the Guinness Book of Records, where they just have totally arbitrary records. Well, wasn't there that an Olympic basketball team where they pretended to be special needs so that they could win the Special Olympics? It was like an American basketball team. There's a documentary on it. It's really good. It's on Netflix. Or it might even just be on YouTube, actually. Oh, Spanish team. Oh, Jesus, the sand in this. It's like sand. Can we not have realistic gravel traps, please? They're so frustratingly annoying. Hey, SimRacing World. That should be good fun. Right. Time to wall hack the setup here. Oh, I've not got enough time to wall hack it. How are these guys... What are people doing to beat us here? Unacceptable. Do we need to get some setup sent out? I know there's like some kind of Middle Eastern women's football team that had 7 men in it. Well, you know, you got to do whatever it takes to win. It's a fine line though, isn't it? It's like that Lance Armstrong thing. Lance Armstrong? Is it Lance Armstrong, the Tour de France winner? It's like, you know, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm pretty sure he, you know, and Michael Schumacher. It's like, you know, it's kind of stretching the rules, but it's hard to like be like, well, are they categorically breaking the rules, or is that just the framework of that competition? Is that just what you have to do to win? Oh, great. The worst rear view camera in the history of rear view cameras. Oh, I wonder if the car behind me is going to pass me. Guys, I'm not going to ruin the race result because that would be a spoiler. Do you know what? I think Ryanair should sponsor the back of a Formula 1 car. Sponsor the rear wing. That'd be a good advertisement for an air company. I think they are using setups. What would be good? I don't know if you can, with the hosted sessions, I don't know if you can use like, I don't know if you can create like a what's it called, like a fixed setup, but you choose the setup as opposed to one of the game's defaults. I need to become an aero boy. Well, who's got the we'll get setups. We need Fez Fox in here. He was good at Project Cars 2 setups. Creating these host sessions is a pain. No, it's this is that's one of the really good things I always liked about Project Cars 2 and Automobilista. This is one of the reasons why I want Automobilista 2 to keep developing and why I'm hyped for it, is from a live stream perspective, it's really nice to just be able to, I think for a lot of people as well, just create a session, jump in and drive, and you're like, well, let's just do something stupid next and make it quick, you know. It's just very convenient. Whereas I think even like with other simulators, like even when you've got a separate person setting it all up and everything, it's more of a like even for them, it's more of an effort to set it all up and everything. So the Nemesis with the fastest lap there. What's his time? 48.4. Yeah, this is a car I should be reasonably good in, so we need to get the Nemesis set up. He is the Christ. I will do Sam's Cacao eventually. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not driving this too well, so we'll just keep it the same. I said, of course, I could have used a Madness engine. It would have been... Yeah, I know. It would have been amazing. It's just such a shame, isn't it? I know. But I get why they did it from a business perspective. Like, it makes more sense to use the Unreal Engine than Madness engine in many ways. As a cross-platform engine, and also as a... I mean, Madness engine is cross-platform, but also in terms of industry ubiquity. It's like... It's just very well known. With the Madness engine, isn't that well known outside of people that work for SMS. I'm sure the Madness engine uses general framework. Yeah, all the game engines will use frameworks that anyone could train themselves to get to use in terms of the workflow for games development. But Unreal Engine is like, it is like the default standard for most things now. So having a good physics engine in the Unreal Engine has a lot of value to it from a publisher's perspective. Like, just think what they can license out of the... You've got driving sims. There's a very obvious workflow to them. License the cars. You build the cars. You put the data in, everything. It's not quite that simple. But if you've got an engine in place that looks generally decent and it's cross-platform, then from a publisher's perspective, it's at relatively low risk. So that's be how it do. But hey, you know, maybe the miracle will happen, and one day maybe Kunos will find some reason why the maybe there'll be some reason why it's terrible and they just haven't noticed. The force feedback, that is, and the what seems like delay with the input. Or maybe they will, by virtue of kindness of their heart, maybe they will go, oh, you know what, actually, that stupid bold dick that won't shut up, actually, though we hate him, maybe he had a point, and maybe some of the other people have a point, that they want to actually use the force feedback wheels fully. You know, so that's possible. Who knows? Kunos are very hard to predict as a company, though. They're very random. Very random. But hey, this looks gorgeous. These aren't ranked, unfortunately. They've reduced... Ah! I've been stream decked again. They've reduced the amount of draft, which is a shame. I don't know if that's... I don't know what's realistic or not, but I find when you've got a bit of draft with cars, more draft, it acts as catch-up, and it makes the racing more fun. I don't know. I'd imagine in real life these cars would have a little bit more draft than what they have here. But I'm basing that entirely off driving simulators. And they all have different amounts of draft, so... I don't know. Whoa, close racing up front. 4 into that corner. It's not going to... There we go. There's the punt. Whoa! What happened there? Was that a bit of a netcode disaster? Jesus Christ. Scared the crap out of me. What was that? Was he lagging out or something? Someone joined us with an Australian ping. Bloody hell. Blacklisted by Kudos, yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, the only thing about Madness Engine that I would say would be lacking, graphically, is the aliasing on the shadows, which, you know, I'm sure they could potentially have addressed in the future. Oh, jeez. Okay, you've not seen me at all. He did not see me. Oh, come on, man. But yeah, like the lighting, the weather, the frame rate performance. Madness Engine is pretty mental in that regard. And then, yeah, and then how it runs in VR. You can actually fix the aliasing on the shadows in Madness Engine by super sampling. That would actually address that aliasing issue. Which, given that how well the Madness Engine actually runs, that might not actually be a problem. What's AW? What does that stand for? I can't remember what that is. I think the other real big shame with Unreal Engine at the moment, it's like only with the last week, I think it's Unreal Engine 4.2, I think they're on now. You can basically, any game you can add DLSS or not DLSS, what's it called? It is DLSS, isn't it? It's like AI enhanced it's just upscaling that looks nice. But if you in the latest version of Unreal Engine, anyone that's if you're a game developer, you can just compile your project with it enabled on version 4.2, and you will then have DLSS in your project in the game available. But unfortunately, for like Hell Let Loose and Assetto Corsa, they're using like older versions of the Unreal Engine, and they've done their own development to it. So the fact that it's Unreal Engine is, to an extent, slightly moot. But it's a real shame because ACC would massively benefit from that. And I don't know how easy it is for Kunos to go to a newer version of Unreal Engine, or even how worthwhile it is for that. I mean, from a financial sense, there's no point. Alan Scott, we'll be going to that later, man. There's no way that I will learn how to drive that car quickly because of the way it drives in iracing. We were driving it the other day. I can't drive slow cars. I can only drive cars with downforce, like Radicalls. Radical and above. Speed. My brain doesn't operate at the frequency of GT cars, unfortunately. DLSS. Yeah. What did I say DLSS, or did I say something else? I don't know Chris Willie's defaults. Do devs ever ask sim racers for help? No, the thing is, so the reality of games development is the developers will know 99.9% of what any of the players will be saying, you know, that if you're a game developer, you have to play your game a lot. You have to keep compiling it, testing things. You know, you're very familiar with things, and you probably, the fact that if you're working on a driving sim, you probably are a sim racer to some extent. So the reality of games development is games take a long time to make. They're complicated, and it takes a long time to, like, you'll know, the developer almost always knows exactly what the issues are for the vast majority of what they want to put in the game. It takes time, and it's hard. So that's why, from the player's perspective, it's like, oh, why haven't they fixed this obvious bug? It's like, well, the bug might be obvious, but the method of fixing it might not be, or it might not be feasible in line with something else, or fixing it might cause a different problem. You know, it's games development. That's why games development is literally hell. So don't ever become a games developer. I shouldn't say this, though, because I think game developers deserve to just suffer. I enjoy making game developers' lives worse. Ah, fish has fallen off the wall. The racing was too intense. That was game developers cursing my fish there. The fish was possessed by the spirit of developers. Well, this is why I always say the reason why I have a huge amount of respect for the Hell Let Loose developers, Kunos, Reza, is I have respect for a developer where they keep working on stuff. Like a separate kind of respect. So, you know, I think with SMS, they did a really good job with the Madness engine and aspects of Project Cars 2 especially. And I think Ian Bell's controversial, and he is definitely a character. But he's good at promoting the product, and that's what, you know, it's a business, and he generates wealth, so that's what his job is. But I don't have the same respect for SMS historically, or Codemasters now, in the same way that I do for Reza or Kunos or I can't remember what the dev is for Hell Let Loose. Black something or other. Because Reza, Kunos, and those developers, they keep working all the time. They keep adding stuff to. The other developers still work, but they don't just pump and dump. They release the game, and then they keep working on it constantly. They don't just go. They don't do that console cycle of, oh, here's the game, right, we've released it, here's a few patches because they're totally game-breaking patches, that's it, now you've got to wait 2 years. Reza just constantly working on this. Kunos have constantly worked on ACC. You know, Black Matter, that's it. Yeah, a lot of the games are CPU limited, unfortunately. SimRacing Wales. Where do you see the next big SimRacing game coming from? I don't know. The thing is, it's not really to do with the game itself. It's to do with the platforms. So the reality is, there's not that many people on PC playing driving sims, like, as an audience, relative to the number of potential players on console. So, you know, if you can get something like ACC to be actually popular on the next gen consoles, that accelerates it above any other PC simulator in terms of user numbers. So from a sort of overview thing of the next big sim, from a person outside of sim racing, it would be the moment you end up with an iRacing, Assetto Corsa, you know, an actual simulator that's on the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox, and gains traction. Kind of like what happened with Project Cars 2, basically, and GT Sport. But in terms of physics, I think things will kind of just stay. I mean, you look like RBR still has some of the best rally physics, and that's like 300 years ago. and all the Sims now, they're all kind of like hovering around the same level of. They've got more complexity, but the basic end drive has stayed the same for a long time. The Nemesis with the win there. Hackzy second, Thomas third. Good driving, guys. Navola fourth, Jacrio F1 fifth, Gilles Homan sixth, Nicky in seventh, Turbo Esprit eighth, Paul Cox ninth, Wyermesen 10th. That's the top 10 for that race. Good driving, guys. I had a few accidents. Right. Yeah, well, from a YouTuber streamer perspective, you need to be playing console games or like mass market games if you want to really be successful. You know, I mean, you can literally look at my stats and you'll see when Project Cars 2 came out, because it was on console as well, I gained like 8,000 subscribers doing exactly what I normally do, purely because Project Cars 2 was cross-platform. When I did Counter-Strike, when I used to do Counter-Strike Go videos, because it's a game that's like actually a popular game as opposed to a driving sim, a semi-bog standard CSGO video would get like 200,000 views, whereas a semi-bog standard sim racing video will get like 3,000 to 10,000 views, you know? So that's just the numbers of it. I'm going to make a new server because I want to see the morning. Must try. There's a new version of Richard Burns Rally, James, that might be worth getting, like a new streamlined version. Hello, Connor Clifford. Just watch your cockpit cam ACC guide. Would you know how to eliminate movement from the cockpit? I don't know. Unless there's a camera G-force setting, I don't know. I don't know if you can. I think the dash view, Connor, doesn't allow you to use look to horizon. You might have to use the cockpit and zoom it in. I'm not sure. That's the case with AC. I don't know with ACC. I wonder if there's a text file where you can rename these defaults so it loads up these defaults to whatever your last one was. That'd be good. Password T. Oh, that's not how you spell T. Lots of... Yeah, I think... Well, this is the... You definitely saw with Project Cars 2 and GT Sport. People play something like GT Sport, really enjoy it, and are like, oh, I'm enjoying this. So what can I get that's better? And then they'll, you know, better force feedback, better, more dynamic force physics, and even more selection of cars and tracks and things. And they're like, oh, I need to get a PC. Hello, Goat. Can we have a teapot raid? If you've got a teapot by your name, you're a channel member. Spam some teapots in chat whilst I just set this up. Teapot bonanza. Don't find the time of day. Yeah, Project Cars 2. I had a lot of fun with Project Cars 2. I think the game thinks it's summer. That's why it's still light. Right. Antoine Jacket Potato. Have you got AMS2? You'll really like this car. A good track here. Oh, this would be good with this car. Get in there, Antoine. You'll like this. You'll like this car. It's as close to the Radicall SR3 as you can get. Right, I think we're good. Why is VR? What's wrong with VIR? It's good track. The car should all be the same. There you go. Password T capital letters. Oh no, I've just put it to identical because some of the cars might. I don't know how bopped they are. Yeah, because Reza have some content in R Factor 2 as well as AMS2. That is really good. The Reza cars in R Factor 2 are really nice, actually. That's really impressive with Reza is that you look at the cars for AMS1, which is R Factor 1 engine, and they're some of the best cars in R Factor 1, some of the best cars in R Factor 2, and you know, they're doing a good job with this as well. Travis is on the right lines. What's going on in chat? Nikki JJ, join your honest thoughts. Other people aren't. Not allowed honest thoughts. Harry Rutland. Yeah, I think it's got to a point where so the problem with AMS2 at the moment is any car that has a rear diff, the physics don't work properly. I don't think they do. I could be wrong, but I feel like even if you reduce the diff settings on the cars that have a rear diff in this game, it's as if it's got a locked diff. It drives as if the rear diff is locked. So I'm not sure if I think they might be working on that. But if they can address that, then I think that's a sort of big handling issue. Like those of us that are playing it are like, oh, the cars don't lift off oversteer. It's that rear diff issue. This car doesn't have a rear diff, and the cars that don't have a rear diff do have lift off oversteer. They're still a bit snappy on the brakes, but you can drive them, so that's alright. Why can't you use Fanatec pedals and Logitech wheel together, Finch? Oh, these cars do have headlights. Unless that's the pit box lighting, in which case we're in trouble. It's got aspects of it feel similar to Project Cars 2 because I believe it's using the Seta tyre model, but the vehicles they've already done their own. They've added additional physics to it, and they've changed things. So it's deviating from Project Cars 2. But you will, if you're familiar with Project Cars 2, there are aspects to it that carry across. The thing is with Project Cars 2. The Ferrari GTE in Project Cars 2 drove nothing like any of the other vehicles. I actually quite thought it was alright. It was reasonable. It was fun to drive. The Clio Cup and the Radicall in Project Cars 2 as well were like really different from the other cars. So a lot of what makes a car feel like a car in a simulator is down to the setup of the vehicle as opposed to the suspension physics, the tyre physics and everything else. So, you know. We do have headlights. Oh, well, we can have it. Except for the trees. Although they're using the billboard trees, they do make the game run faster. So I'm not necessarily against billboard trees. Why would the PC community want GT? Well, one reason would be it's got jumping ranked matchmaking, which is always good. How nice does this look, guys? Look at this. Absolutely. The way that the lighting, night lighting, and the sky looks in this is superb. Like the way you can see the clouds, because you got like the twilight light in the sky, and the tone of it is really natural. Oh, it's a corner. I'd like to see more cross-platform stuff, because I think there's a division, which is rather unfortunate, between the console and the PC. And it's nice to have everything integrated. It's much better for streamers. From a purely selfish perspective, it's much better for streamers when everything's integrated. Like, I would like to have more viewers when I'm playing driving sims, you know? From a purely selfish... I mean, if Assetto Corsa 1 was as popular as Counter-Strike Go, or even GT Sport, my channel would be like 5 times its size. I'm not complaining though. I'm really happy with how things are for me. I've been very lucky. Everything's really good. That's just a numbers game, really. I want to get a PS5, but I can't bloody get one because they're not in stock anywhere. I quite enjoy GT Sport. GT Sport, I quite enjoy it, but I just doubt it's set up on my PS4 properly with this setup. I think if you play a lot of PC sims, look at that lighting, it's gorgeous. If you play a lot of PC sims, and then you play something like GT Sport, it's some of the things on console can grate on you a little bit, like the frame rate and the V-Sync and the resolution, if you're used to like a wide monitor, because you take all these things for granted on a PC, because you know you're used to like all the just be able to slap any component you want on it. They're just not, it's not available on console. GT Sport's fantastic though for what it is. Like, you can pick up a PlayStation 4 for like 100 quid second hand, and you can get GT Sport for like £5, and it plays really well with a gamepad. So you know it's very good. You get good value out of it. But oh Jesus, messed that up a bit. I think that's the nice thing with the new Microsoft method with Windows, where you can play your Xbox stuff on Windows. It's a shame we need Sony PlayStation games on Microsoft Store. That'd be awesome. GT Sport on PC. Ah, that'd be good. And GT, the new one. Then I wouldn't need to buy another bloody piece of electronics for no reason. I think there is a BTCC game, Harry Rutland, in development. So, you Google it, it should come up. I don't know how far along it is. You've also got GTR 3 as well, I think. SimRacing, guys, is the place to go. Get all your news on there. Hello, Tortellini. How's the pasta going? I don't know. I don't know the details. Go to bsimracing.com. Really good place if you're into driving sims.
bsimracing.com. All your sim racing news in one place. Don't just sim race. bsimracing.com.
You did an article on it, didn't you, Wim? Did you do an article on it, Wim? Okay, that's good. I was just shitting myself that I'd accidentally said something I shouldn't have said. Yeah, good that you did an article on it. Jesus Christ. Right, here we go. Okay, you behave yourself, Tortellini. You don't want to get timed out, do you? V8. Well, it's weird that there is an Australian V8 racing game. Will you drive the GT1 cars in this? If they've got a rear diff. If they don't have rear diff, then yeah. Until they fix the rear diff, no. Placating? I don't like any fanboys. If you're a fanboy like Tortellini is of ACC, then you're not welcome. What's funny is you can't win. Like, if I say something negative about a game, all the fanboys get butthurt because obviously I'm wrong. If I say something positive, I'm then upsetting people that are more fans of a different game. so you know, whatever you say, it's a losing. You're just going to lose. It's a losing situation. This is why live streamers don't say anything. Because I mean, it's better to say controversial stuff in videos because then people argue about it in the comments and you get more views. So at least you're monetizing the complaining. YMCA. I can't let go of the wheel because his car's wobbling all over the place. Have I tried what? Exactly. I'm a shill for the Game of Muscle t-shirt, link in the description. Beautiful repeating Game of Muscle logo pattern in case you have a... Maybe you've got early onset Alzheimer's or something and you've forgotten what you're watching. This shirt will remind you that you're watching the channel and then you can feel bad about it again. But, you know, great pattern. Also, another feature of this t-shirt... You'll notice the subtle pastel colours. Great. Oh, please, SimRacing, go away. I'm advertising my shirt. Pastel colours. Fantastic for trolling your colourblind friends. Just tell them that it doesn't have... There's no red on it. So you could go up to your colourblind friend and you can go... Look at the red logo. Where's the red logo? Do you like my red logo t-shirt? And they'll be confused. The rolls are fatter to help survive the zombie apocalypse. So that's an investment. Well, that's because you've been watching too many World War II films. And you have a mind, corrupt mind. I can't drive. I'm in 6th place, not too bad. I don't know why anyone would play NASCAR Heat 5. Just download NASCAR. Well, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's just what they saw. Purple is always the one they can wrap their minds around. Oh, the long sleeve one shouldn't be available to buy yet. That shouldn't be visible. Because I don't know if the pattern works on it. It should do, but we don't know yet. Chili Dog's the official tester for the long sleeve shirt. Titwinkle. Oh no, UPS are terrible. UPS, their back-end system for notifying you where your post is so bad. They'll be like, arriving today. Not arriving today. No, it is arriving today. All posters. Amazon have like GPS tracking on their drivers. It's well good. It's like my post is being delivered by like a psychopath or something that's just got a leg band, and I'm like a Bond collector or something. It's well good. You can watch them on the map, and then you can watch them drive around your house for like 6 hours whilst they deliver to everyone around you, but not you. It's quite a good It's like a real world loading bar with a delivery man. Look, Rise, don't you dare ruin. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. Could do with a little bit more grip. Just a touch more grip would be nice, you know. A little bit more bite on the tyres would be nice. A little bit more. Like 8% more grip. That would have been enough to stop me going off the track there. Maybe, Jerome, if you play a lot of iRacing and avoid the crashes. This car has aero as ice. Look at that aero. Anyone that works for Radicall watching this, I'm sorry I'm not driving a Radicall. They don't have it in this game. I highly recommend you license a Radicall to Reza for a good price so I can adequately promote Radicalls. Yours sincerely, #1 Radicall shill. Rob H, I don't know. At the moment, I give AMS2 like 6.5 tea bags out of 10 in totality. But with the cars that don't have a rear diff, the open diff or whatever, it's fun. So that's all that matters. Like with the hosting. As I say, with Project Cars 2, it's like the Clio Cup, the Radicall SR3, the Ferrari GTE. Fun. Once you get fun, it's all right. Wreckfest. Fun. Need a cup of tea. Buttons. Get some nice racing going. That's what it's all about. Has everyone smashed the like button? We are 2 hours and 20... Oh, that's not the finish line. We're 2 hours and 22 minutes into the stream. And we are on 221 likes. So we have indeed... I mean, if those of you watching now hit the like button, I can press the 100 likes per hour button again. And we will have hit over 100 likes for 2 hours. I don't know what show tunes are, cinnamon scented senior citizens. What is that name?
Cinnamon scented senior citizens. Oh, I like to go up to those oldies and sniff them. Oh, you have a bit of a cinnamon scent to you, you senior citizen.
Is that your hobby? There you go, that's 100 likes per hour. Just updated my AMS2 and now it won't boot. Restart Steam, I don't know. That turned weird. AC, ACC, AMS2, they're all driving simulators that will make you less attractive to the opposite sex. So, not good if you're trying to get laid. But, ACC has more realistic physics than AMS2, in my opinion, as someone that's obviously very knowledgeable about these things. I prefer the force feedback in AMS2 to ACC, though. That doesn't say much. You know, they're all worth owning. ACC is really good value for money. If you buy it on sale as well, you can get it. It's not that expensive. You'll get a good value out of it. Even if you don't absolutely love ACC, you'll easily get the value out of it if you like driving sims. Broken everyone's AMS too. What's the temperature? I don't know. Well done the Nemesis for cheating again. We've got the new Aero Boy, the Nemesis. Although actually, not on this track. I'm like half an hour off the pace. We need to get some setups going on this. Oh, okay. New Aero. Don't update. Don't update your game just yet. Rob H. Find ace. Yeah, $15 good price. I've got like, I don't know, I've had quite a few really good races in ACC. Again, just because a YouTuber doesn't like aspects of a sim or says something is annoying or they much prefer something else doesn't mean that they haven't still enjoyed aspects of it or got enjoyment out of it. You have to keep in mind that a live streamer has probably played a game for hundreds of hours. So, you know. You download any of the custom skins? Nope. Huge error. Well, here we go. Right. Yeah, you have to be careful buying from CD keys though, because it's not necessarily. It's like often grey market stuff. So you know, you just have to be careful. These cars look nice with the brake lights. These are nice vehicles. Look at that lighting. It's got like, look at the shadows. I just sorry for the guy that I knocked off the track a bit there. Look at the I really like the you get like a light reflection off the road surface of the brake lights where there's a bit of more sort of specular road surface. It's a really nice effect. Oh Jesus, smoke everywhere. Okay, goodbye. Kebab shop for him. Get in there. Not a bad start there. Remember to subscribe, guys, if you're new and you want to be notified of our next live streams and videos. We're doing the Porsche E-Cup at 5 PM. Porsche All-Stars E-Cup thing. Porsche All-Stars Esports. I don't know. With Jardier, Bread Tin, Maxime, a bunch of other YouTubers. Should be good fun. Well, I'm going to get punted and come last. Will from Boosted Media. maybe we can beat Will if we don't try not to crash into him this time. I think they should give me a Radicall and let everyone else driving a Porsche. I'm not in tune for slow vehicles. Will will be after me. Probably. He's after my blood. Yeah, I'm not saying that Mr. Judfin, I'm not saying that people will. Oh Jesus. Okay. Where's the tap? I'm not saying that you will have problems. I'm just saying that they are sort of not necessarily 100% legit site, so there's a risk there. Even if it hasn't happened to you as an individual, at least go into it with the potential that it's risky. That's all I'm saying. Very secret. That's not the racing line. The marshals.
The marshals would like to have a word with Very Secret, Team Secret, for dangerous driving.
I can't see through the smoke. So weirdly, the whole Project Cars 3 thing is actually a blessing for AMS 2. Really. Oh, podium opportunity here. The Nemesis has gone Serengeti off-road. Like, if Project Cars 3 had ended up being as big as Project Cars 2, then that would really take the steam away from AMS 2. And also, like, if AMS 2, if they keep doing what they're doing with it, like, right now, with the cars that don't have a diff, I think it drives better than GT Sport, easily. So, if this comes out on console as well as PC... It's just a shame that they named it Automobilista. I get it. I get it. And also I get that you have to... Often they keep the names of titles due to licensing agreements and everything. But Automobilista is not... It's like Assetto Corsa. It's not a good name for a game for a mass market... From a mass market marketing... What does... You know... Unfortunately, Italian and Brazilian are not the primarily spoken languages. I mean, if anything, all these games should have Chinese names. That's the biggest market potential. But, you know. Davey Cam! How's it going, man? Guys, you need to check out Dave Cam, a fellow bold man in a sim rig. A head so shiny... You can see him from the ISS. A beacon of light on a cloudy day. His wife rubs his head for a happy day. Dave Cam. Dave Cam. I like Project Cars 3, only for the VR mode. This has really good VR in it. True story. Oh, I'm in 3rd place. Game's unrealistic. I should be in 7th. Good morning, Cobby Charlton. How's it going, man? Another a recent victim. A recent channel member victim, Cobby Charlton. Oh dear, he's coming back. T69. He's in the mirrors. Oh, God, this is so bobsled luge line. They need to replant the tree on this track, let's be real. That corner's just not right without a tree on it. They should put a plastic tree there. The Bold Squad. Team Bold. Whoa. He's been very careful. Lap 4 or 5. We've got another lap for him to pass us. This guy's the worst rear view cam. I mean, in reality, it's got good mirrors. We've even got a barber's mirror. But like that is a... Oh, thank you. The spoiler is positioned such that it perfectly blocks any car. You can see the track, and you can... That's it. What a bad camera position. Oh, Oh, Dave, look what you've done now. What is it? DD girl with the DD wheel. What a babe, what a beauty, what a sexy lady. DD girl with the DD wheel. She's so beautiful and strong. I'm not wrong. It's a DD girl with the DD wheel, with her legs constructed from Chinese servo motors. DD girl with the DD wheel. So beautiful. Everybody needs a DD girl. If you don't have a DD girl, what are you doing? Everybody wants a DD girl. Put a DD girl in your sim rig for a life of happiness. DD girl with the DD wheel. Put your hands in the air for the girl with the skill. It's a DD girl with a wheel directly mounted to a servo shaft. DD girl, DD girl, dreamy girl, DD girl, DD girl, DD girl. Everybody wants a DD girl. Thank you, Dave Cam, for DD girliness. An emotional moment, tears, candles, mobile phones, and a 4th place. I think I'm having a stroke. Is that toast I can smell burning? No, it's your brain eradicating brain cells. Thank you very much. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Number Wang. That was alright race there. 4th place. No, 6th place. Well, I think the track position counter had a bit of a fanny. We were getting better lap times though. Ricardo Reese, I'm sure they'll be rolling out a patch to it. Won't worry about it. Couldn't get past Game of Muscle. Dave Cam sing along. I can't release an album. I've been forbidden by the government due to the potential for health damage. People are still recovering from COVID. They can't deal with Game of Muscle ear damage on top of that. It's just too much damage to be done. Right, let's check out the results. Oh, jeez. Here we go. Get ready, guys, for an encore. Get some teapots in chat. DD girl with the DD wheel. What a babe, what a beauty, what a sexy lady. DD girl with the DD wheel, with the double DD bosoms and the double DD bum. It's a DD girl with the DD wheel, with the strong wrists. DD girl with the DD wheel, powerful muscles in the arms. Everybody needs a DD girl. Put a DD girl in your bathtub. Everybody wants a DD girl. If you haven't got a DD girl, well, what's the point of being alive? DD girl with the DD wheel. Put your hands in the air. DD girl with the DD wheel. Fanatec, Simucube, AccuForce. DD girl with the DD wheel. If it's direct drive, she has it. DD girl with the DD wheel. Some say her name will bring you luck. She's gone. Thank you, P8M3. Thank you very much for becoming a channel member. Sponsored for the song. Well, it's a performance. Can't say it's a good one. Very Secret won that. The Nemesis second. BMX Bandit third. Ramjid fourth. Game of Muscle fifth. Hurst A 6th, Nicky 7th, 6 8. Antoine 9th, Max Verstappen 10th. Oh man, guys, you're gonna kill me. We have to go soon. Oh, Jesus Christ. DD girl with the DD wheel. What a babe, what a beauty, what a sexy lady. DD girl with the DD wheel. Powerful, strong wrists. DD girl with the DD wheel. Perfectly formed arm muscles. DD girl with the DD wheel. What a babe, what a beauty, what a sexy lady. Everybody needs a DD girl. Put a DD girl in your sim rig. Everybody wants a DD girl. She plays all the simulators at 100% force feedback. DD girl with the DD wheel. Beautiful, powerful and strong. It's a DD girl with the DD wheel. AccuForce, Fanatec, SimuCube, SimMagic. It's a DD girl. DD wheels on her legs. DD girl. DD, 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 DD. My brain is melting because I saw DD girl. She goes, thank you guys. Right. Thank you very much for becoming channel members. PAM3, Dave Cam, Magilia, Gorilla Racing. We have to stop because I need to get ready for the Porsche live stream, which will be starting at 5 p.m. I need some food. I need a drink. I've lost my voice from singing too much. I will see you guys at 5 p.m. Great racing on AMS2 there. We'll definitely do some more AMS2. Maybe later. Who knows? But until then, I will see you in the Porsche stream at 5 p.m. sharp. Pat Sharp from Funhouse. It's a whole lot of fun. There's prizes to be won. Funhouse. Yeah, unfortunately, donation alerts will be turned off. They'll show in chat, but they won't show on the screen. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for racing. Credit time. Click that like button if you haven't yet and you want to. If you don't want to, then don't. Free will and all that. The stream has ended. Thank you for taking part and donating. Izzy the COVID Police. Super chats from Magilla Gorilla Racing. Thank you. Sam Folk. Thank you. Bass Thrashing or Bass Thrashing. I'm not sure. And members Dave Camp, PAM3 and Gorilla Racing. Goodbye, guys. 5 p.m.